Hot news: Kamala Harris enters 2020 presidential race. The Washington Post. Senior. Kamala D. Harris, a 54-year-old former prosecutor raised in a state that has been the crucible of the Trump resistance, expanded a growing field of candidates fighting for the nomination of a party that is increasingly non-white and fueled by women alienated by the president. She made the announcement during an interview on ABC's Good Morning America and in a video that her campaign posted online. "The future of our country depends on you and millions of others lifting our voices to fight for our American values," she said in the video. "That's why I am." Harris plans a more formal campaign launch in Oakland, California, on Sunday, when she will give a speech outlining her candidacy. As she weighed whether to enter the race, Harris spoke about the challenges of running a campaign that would attempt to break several barriers. "If elected, let's be honest, it's going to be Her announcement came on a day when the nation celebrates the legacy of civil rights leader Martin Luther King Jr. Her campaign note: Harris also plans to travel to Columbia, SC, on Friday to speak at the Pink Ice Gala, an event held by the local Gamma Nu Omega chapter of the Alpha Kappa Alpha sorority, of which Harris was a member while at Howard University, South Carolina. Harris is relatively unknown nationally. A CNN survey in September found that 51% of registered voters had never heard of her, and has recently tried to introduce herself through the requisite campaign book, which was released January 8. In the Senate, she has earned a reputation for sharp questioning and a skeptical approach to Trump administration officials. From her seat on the during a tense exchange with then Attorney General Jeff Sessions over Trump campaign contacts with Russia, Sessions stopped her. "I am not able to be rushed this fast," he said. "It makes me nervous." Harris' rich mixture of heritage has led some supporters to refer to her as the female Barack Obama. The former Democrat. As a child, Harris attended a Hindu temple and a Black Baptist church. Her name Kamala. Harris' late mother immigrated to the United States from India as an adult and became a physician specializing in breast cancer. Her father became. Harris attended Howard University in Washington and the University of California Hastings College of the Law. She then set out on her motto, she told the San Francisco Chronicle in 2009, is a saying her mother had: you may be the first, but make sure you're not the last. And her political career has been marked by firsts. When she ran in 2003 and unseated her one-time boss, San Francisco District Attorney Terrence Hallinan, she became the first black woman to be elected district attorney in California. When she was elected, her tenure as Attorney General was marked by efforts to protect consumers and fight sexual trafficking. But she also some of that tenure is bound to come under scrutiny during her presidential campaign, but she nonetheless is expected to highlight her career as a prosecutor. The campaign slope. In 2014, she married Doug Emhoff, a media, entertainment, and intellectual property partner with 2 children from his earlier marriage. Harris Senate colleagues Elizabeth Warren D. Massachusetts and Kirsten Gillies. In the weeks before the November elections, Harris made trips to Iowa and South Carolina, both early voting states. She is also Harris has faced controversy. One of her senior advisors, Larry Wallace, resigned in December amid questions about a $400,000 lawsuit that was settled in 2017. The suit resulted, among several allegations in a lawsuit cited by the Sacramento Bee. Wallace placed a printer underneath his desk and forced his female assistant to replace ink or paper in it every day, even when she asked to move it to another location to avoid crawling under his desk in dresses or skirts. Harris has played a prominent role as Washington confronted the Me Too movement, and was among the first senators to call on Sr. Al Franken D. Harris is planning to base her presidential campaign in Baltimore, with a second office in Oakland. It will be led by one. The campaign chair will be Maya Harris, the candidate's sister and a former senior advisor to Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign. Other members of her campaign team include prominent Democratic lawyer Mark Elias as general counsel, Angelique Cannon as national finance director, David Wynn as seen.
Raindrop, drop top, smoking, no cooking the hot pot. Fucking on your bitch, yeah, that. Looking up, open the park, pot.